I want to try to explain something to myself and to see if I can verbalize. In like a few days ago, I was talking about this book that I've read many times, and there's one element that seemed to be the critical, and I have some sense, and I don't know if I can say it, but if I say it, I may be able to confirm and make sure that I'm on track of something that I feel is important. So, as usual, bullshit. So, a few days ago, maybe 4 days ago, I was talking about one segment of this Shimura's book about Daisetsu. And the point here is the subtitle of this part is what is the way of capturing the liberation, the free life, so to speak, that you feel natural. And there, maybe I should start from this one. There was a Zen koan, which maybe make it difficult. That was about no thinking of good, not thinking bad. Before that, we have a core source of who we are. And the expression that was by relating to Eno and the original face before your parents are born. And what it means is that what's the real source of who we are. And to get that is Satori. And that is the beginning of the Eastern study of who we are. And Western is relating to that was the Christianity as an example. But the Christian and Western start from the division of God and the world and how we fit in there. But this Eastern way is original before that, before the God was saying anything. Sounds bullshit, right? But that's what Daisetsu is talking and spend his life. And when you describe that, one of the comment is that when Shimura asked, how can you explain not for the Westerners but for Japanese like me? And he said smilingly that if you haven't eaten chocolate, how can you explain the taste of chocolate? I wonder what can be done. So why don't we have a cup of tea? So in looking at that, he felt a very comfortable sense of being with someone who is totally relaxed, like a natural being, not pushing, not talking, not saying much, but saying something, but have a cup of tea. So Shimura felt comfortable and still asking, please tell me more. And it is before the subjectivity and the objectivity, that before it gets divided. And that's where the Eastern way start. But the Christianity is not after, but after the division. So Shimura says that, is it something like the beginning is the foundation without foundation? And that's an odd expression, but I kept in my mind, and I want to go back there, because if that's how he explains, I want to know what it means. The foundation without foundation, or stepping stone, but before the stepping stone. And he said that's Satori. But in Zen, it's too late when you say Satori. So if you say you got it, or Satori is you got it kind of a thing, therefore they cannot say it. But if you don't say anything, you want to say something, you say something. So that's the point, that what is that foundation without foundation? And what I find there is, in my term, foundation without foundation is the state of Samadhi when there's no mind and no self. So you are as you are, as a way of nature. I use the word core of our being is like a way of nature or something like that. Yes. Funny thing is that I had this fan going on. I made a mistake, but the wind chime is ringing, not a big loud noise. And that is the sense of being. It just speaks, given the setting, and the wind chime doesn't have the foundation because it goes any direction, and depending upon the setting, it brings the sound, create the sound. So maybe this is an idea that the wind chime doesn't have the foundation. And I was talking about the wind chime, the song of wind chime by Dogen. I'm not going to go in too much into it, but basically pointing the same point of liberated sense. And that is no foundation, because you're free. And when you have your mind free, yeah, that's the way to say it. Because once you start say something, that's the difference, because in Bible, I think you said at the beginning it's the word or something, that this is before the word. If we start to have the word, then we get stuck with the word. And the point here is to find the core being before the word. Foundation without foundation is without word, and therefore no thinking and no mind. And that's liberated sense. That's freedom. That's Satori. Yeah, that's right. That was a mistake that I had by accident, had a little fan going on, which I don't usually, but because it's still early before the sun comes out. But the wind chime was making sound and telling me that's the foundation without foundation. So I lost the train of thought. But that's what it is, that Satori is about that, and me with that. And that place is the core of a being, and the core of being, in my term, is the fountain of our being alive. So Satori is realizing the foundation, a fountain of spring, of life, and just let it flow, let it come. Nobody's forcing, so it's absolute. And it's not divided, because I'm not saying anything. It's the natural way. It's the absolute way. And that's the source of wisdom and compassion. And that's what Samadhi is, in essence. Because when you have no mind, no subjective, objective, and you are in the state of being, there's nothingness, and the nothingness, what is the end? And everything. Because that's what it is. And that there's a paradox of word and thinking and the being, and there's a discontinuity, paradoxical relationship. But that's the acceptance of that paradoxical relationship of what's in the mind and before the mind. In your heart or in your being, the core of your being is before the word, because word is a process that invented out of the life that we were born and become human. So I know this may sound bullshit, and this may be bullshit, but I don't think so. Because I can say many examples, and that's what he spent whole life about, talking about that nothingness and the importance of where we came from in nothingness. And in nothingness, nothing bothers, because it's natural. But our mind says, tell me, tell me, tell me. Let me grab something, idea. And when you say, or I say, and in the state of Samadhi, when I say or we say, no thinking, no mind, no self, so there's nothing to hang on, right? And when you have nothing to hang on, you are already in the state of being where it is as nature's way. And that is the foundation without foundation, because there's nothing to hang on. But that it is. So that's why he said he cannot say it. Cannot say it. If you say it, then that can cause trouble. So you have to be comfortable with nothingness. Just like the wind chime. He doesn't say anything except when the wind blows, he make a noise. So Shimura asked, please say something. And Daisetsu says, you have to eat the chocolate to have the taste of it. Let's have a cup of tea. That's all he could say. Could say. And Shimura is so ardent, I don't know what's the term, so eager to know what he means. So he spent more energy and time and everything he's got to talk with him about what he's talking about. And so I'm just flipping through. So the one subtitle here is, what is the way to become the master of your life? So what I said, connect to that. You can say nothing, but within nothing it's everything. And there's the flow of universe, the way that happens, and we are born accordingly. And I like to use the word, ride the wave of the universe. That is the flow, and we are here because of that miracle that happened, and be able to talk. But when we talk, we get detached from the, call it reality or absolute state of being, but we have it. Everybody's got it. So we have to, or we can connect to that at the state of Samadhi when mind is calm and quiet, then everything in meditation or in Namo Amida Butsu, that's the throwing away of yourself in Buddha's vow of Amida, that is to help people. Sorry to confuse perhaps throwing many things in, but the bottom line of it is like your faith in that source to give us birth and give us way of life, and that's the master, original core being of who we are, and we have it and connect to that. So where I started was when I was up a little early in the morning and looking at myself, reflecting in the window, and I wondered who am I and why I'm standing not the right posture, because I was thinking. Now I then changed the posture, and at the time, what's the foundation? And I'm confirming what the foundation is to live life. And if I'm connected to that, the miracle of my being and myself, the master and the origin of that can still perform its work to help me live as a foundation without foundation from the brain point of view. But the foundation is a foundation, it's there. The mind cannot access it. Mind is trying. And the trying is already lost. You have to be, because mind in the time dimension, if I do it, then this happens, but you don't have to do it. You're already there. So that's Satori awakening, being with the way of nature, and that's what it is. So in words and the logic, this is bullshit, but in the way of the nature, for it to prevail and not for us to be lost in our mind, we need to work on it, either in Samadhi, or some may say Namo Amida Butsu, or silent prayer. We connect to that. And there's nothing but the peace. That's the eternal home.